So our question is about, does age matter in relationships? And is it just a cultural thing? Yes and yes. I think that I don't believe there is a biblical precedent for age mattering in relationships outside of what's appropriate, okay? I do believe it's a cultural thing, absolutely. In ancient times, let's just bring this to historical cultural relevance. In ancient times, it would not be uncommon for you to be married at 12 or 13 years old to someone who was in their 30s or 40s, who may have multiple wives. And so, understand, we're dealing with absolutely a cultural issue there. Now, we do not dismiss things because they're cultural. Cultural things are still relevant. And I think that it's more important, not to give you the whole cliche answer, I think the most important thing is about the things that you share or don't share. As a youth pastor and a dad, when I see someone who's much, much older come into my group outside of relationship, outside of faith, who is not engaged in what's going on in the journey, in the process, and are immediately, from day one, obviously trying to build relationships, this is generally a male, build relationships with younger females, then my daddy meter goes off, and I'm going to move on that probably, and we'll tell them, you have no business being here, bro, unless you're going to make some changes or whatever, but you're not dating the younger girl. Now, that's protection, okay? Because I don't know him, I don't know what's going on in his life, and generally, if I get to know him or get to know someone who knows him from a past experience, there's reasons to be cautious. So young ladies especially, if your daddy or mama is not happy with a choice in your life because the guy is older, you need to listen, because they're there to protect you, okay? And I'm not saying they're always right, but I'm saying that it is the right thing for you to do to submit to the leadership of your parents, okay? I think that's a good thing. It's also right for you to seek wisdom on those kinds of things and ask questions and to figure out, what those things are. Now, all that being said, and two, obviously, this is completely out of the question here, but in theory, y'all understand it is illegal in the United States for there to be any sexual contact between someone who is 18 years of age and someone who is below that age. Now, I know that there's certain criteria that those things get suspended if you're like 16 and 18 and other stuff. Obviously, it's something biblically you should not do anyway, so that shouldn't be admitted here, but understand that too. That's important. That person will go to jail, okay? And I have had kids and people that I know who have, who've served time over those issues. So you don't need to mess around with that. Now, so my basic answer is, if you're a 13-year-old girl, you don't have any business dating a 19-year-old dude. That would be my daddy answer. You know what? I don't see any reason for you to do that. I don't think you're at the maturity level to make that decision. Okay? I would say if you were, I'm not just making up examples here, but there's an age point where you begin to grow into your mature adulthood, and it happens for different people, different ages. 18 is not a magic age. Nothing changes at 18. In fact, in my opinion, 18 is the new 16 from over the years. People at 18 now, people don't even get their licenses. People don't want their driver's license anymore at 16. When I was a kid, 16, on your birthday, no matter what, you drove and got your license, got in your car and drove every friend you could find all around town, and you wanted to get as far away into freedom as you can. I get kids now who are 17, 18, 19 going, I'm cool, still robbing my parents. And there's nothing wrong with that. But just understand, age doesn't mean anything. It means you owe more taxes, and it means that you can buy cigarettes, okay? That's what 18 does for you. But it's not some magical door into maturity suddenly. So I understand an 18-year-old and a 16-year-old may be on exactly the same level. The 16-year-old may be more mature. And I think processing those individuals is probably more important than that age. They need to abide by the law and abide by what parents are saying, absolutely. But do I think it's out of the question for people who are, maybe even more drastic of an age difference than you might think, to have a great marriage and things to be fine in their life, or to have a relationship together? If they're people of faith with similar interests, it's appropriate, it's being in the light, it's being sought out in wisdom, it's being, under the watchful eye of parents and authority figures and other things. they're not engaging in sexual, misconduct. I think that's fine. I think that happens all the time, and I think that that's okay. And I think lots of great godly marriages have come out of relationships that had great age differences. So people don't take away and say that I said, PJ said that we could go date someone who's 10 years older than us whenever we're 12. He never said that. No. But you have a situation you want to bring into the light and you want to ask about, I think that's okay. If the people you're asking who are godly people or your parents, people you trust, are going to help you through that journey, I think, 16 and 17 up at that point, it may happen. If we don't know the dude, we don't know the girl, I don't know. But there's no blanket answer except to walk those things out. Okay? Great question.